What is the meaning for us of these stories we've just heard? These stories are not much different from those that many of our grandparents and great-grandparents. My grandfather immigrated here to America in 1898, 110 years ago. He left his parents and his family to seek a new life and new opportunities because there was no future for him in Sweden. A generation later, my parents lived through the Depression. They had an expression which had been used at home and whenever someone was leaving after a visit: "Write if you find work." I can remember my dad saying that as I was heading off to a job or whatever. It was always a passing. But the time I heard the expression used, it was more tongue-in-cheek than reality. But it reflected the difficult economic reality that they had been through. It is a phrase that fits well today in our mobile society. Write if you find work. Iowa is a state of immigrants, and we are getting older. By 2020, 1 in 5 Iowans will be 65 or older, and our birth rate is declining. Since 2000, there have been no net increases in native-born workers between the ages of 25 and 54. In the future, in order to sustain our economy, we will need further immigration, or our economy will shrink. Immigration is a key to economic development. In the stories we've heard, all of the speakers were able to pursue their dreams, except for the last one. Why? It is because our current immigration laws are unworkable. The only set of regulations thicker than the immigration laws is the federal tax code. Currently, the immigration code allows for only 5,000 visas per year for unskilled workers. Yet it has been estimated that we need 500,000 per year to fill the needed jobs. We don't have a system that recognizes the realities of the U.S. economy. In 2005, about 7.2 million unauthorized migrants worked in the United States. That's 5% of the civilian labor force, 1 in every 20 workers. I've been fortunate to have visited Rosa's land. Excuse me. I've been fortunate to visit Rosa's native land of Guatemala. The country is breathtaking and heartbreaking. There are beautiful seashores, breathtaking mountains, beautiful, hardworking people. The country has been racked by 30 years of civil war, corrupt leaders, abusive employers, and unfair distribution of wealth. Now their economy has been hurt by trade agreements like CAFTA, the Central American version of NAFTA. We subsidize our corn to them cheaper than, and we can sell it, we ship it to them, and cheaper than they can grow it themselves. So the people have no choice but to move off the farms to the city to try to find work of any kind. Is it any wonder that these men and women will leave their families and come to a place like Postville, where there are jobs and opportunities? Remember I talked about right if you find work? Unfortunately, the system we have in place has caused people to rely on smugglers and forgers in order to do the hard work many Americans aren't willing to do. We need humane and just immigration reform now. The laws need to reflect our hearts and be as good as our people. We need to tell Congress that the laws need to be overhauled now. It can't be put off. The laws should respect the dignity of all immigrants, keep families together, build prosperous communities, allow for a path to citizenship for those who are already here, and reflect our faith values. Christians and other people of faith are committed to human rights for all people, regardless of immigration status. In Leviticus 19, God calls us to welcome immigrants to our communities. When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you should not do him wrong. The stranger who sojourns with you shall be to you as a native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. In Matthew 25, Jesus identifies with the stranger. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then they asked, when did all this happen? And Jesus said, truly I say to you, as you did to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. We need to act now. We need to write our congressmen and senators. You need to talk to your neighbors. Take some of these forms with you. Not only will you fill them out, but take them to your neighbors and your friends and have them send them in. And we need to talk and call to all of our legislative officials. We have no choice but to act, and to act now. Thank you.